秀則と吉武ともっと仲良くしよう。おい待て。
Welcome back, nerds. Stheno here with a look at the Charmander of Fate Grand Order. The one, the only, Assassin Euryale. Actually, that's kinda fucked up. Euryale is way better than Stheno. For a long time, Rare Prism had a reputation for being one of the worst servants in the game, but is that really true? Let's find out, starting with her kit. Stheno's first skill is Vampirism. It's the same as Euryale's, capping at an 80% chance to drain with 20% charge gain. Skill 2 is Siren Song, which is also the same as Euryale's, a 100% chance to charm at max rank before accounting for resistance. Skill 3 is where things get interesting. Whim of the Goddess is Stheno's golden ticket, taking her from the doghouse to Willy Wonka's meme factory. It's a 20% party-wide attack buff that doubles on divine servants, including her. Taken in isolation, this is crazy strong because you've got a lot of powerful divine characters, and most servants with this sort of ability exclude themselves, like Moriarty and Elizabeth. Stheno's noble phantasm is Smile of the Stheno, which reduces defense on a single target and has charm and instant death chance against men. With its upgrade, it even purges buffs. Pretty good deal, right? There's a catch. Smile of the Stheno doesn't do damage. Scratch that, 2 catches. It's a fucking Buster Noble Phantasm, so a non-damaging Buster NP on a servant with a quick deck. A lot of early servants have weird shit like this, but Stheno gets it especially bad. Stheno was originally built for a debuffing kit, but on that front, you'll find she has a very narrow range of application for the simple reason that Euryale is generally better in the anti-male niche, and her lack of a damaging NP makes her mostly dead weight in a face race. What you gain installing tools, you lose in DPS just for having Stheno in your frontline. That said, her divine buff is the sexier part of her kit, so let's explore that for now. FGO has a lot of divine servants, strong ones too. This gives Stheno flexibility in team building because few servants would turn down a 40% attack buff with only 2 turns of downtime. Some have the added bonus of a potential charm lock like Kama, Suzuka, Parvati, and Tamalancer. Suzuka gets 3 buff types for a large multiplicative damage bonus, Parvati can rapidly cycle her NP, and Tamalancer works in the anti-male niche with her Super Inazuma Dick Kick. Against Greek men specifically, Stheno can screen for Jeff Bezos and lock down her target, while Penth goes to town. As an assassin, she gets the added benefit of dumpstering Achilles on her own terms. Abigail can join in a chain drain with some chain stun potential. Shuten benefits from a double buff with her massive base attack. Raiko gets a colossal attack buff, which she normally lacks, comboing well with her Buster and special steroids. Smile of the Stheno can also clear the way during a follow-up turn by purging hard mitigation, which Raiko normally can't deal with. Summer BB lets you pretend Stheno doesn't exist and buys time for Poster Girl to kill her. Melt is a funny case because you can have a high uptime on buff removal NPs, but here's the real treat. Melt Virus reduces ally NP damage. Not a problem with Stheno. Her NP damage is a big fat goose egg, so she can slurp up that virus all day. Gargle with it. Speaking of Melt, let's talk about mysterious Pingu Lambda. She has a skill that steals charge from party members, so here's a wild idea. Don't use Stheno's NP at all. Instead, use her as a reserve battery for Pingu. Is that fucking stupid or what? We're not even at the meme team yet. Next up, we have one of the more memorable setups, and you may have seen it. There's a video of someone beating Dantes during the Prison Tower event, and he's charmed or stunned for the entire fight. Doesn't attack once, it's really funny. I'll put a link in the description. But as for the team itself, Euryale is doing the heavy lifting. Stheno's divine buff is very nice here, but her primary contribution is an extra set of debuffs for extended coverage. In one regard, she kinda gums up your system since Euryale really wants to arts chain and Stheno is a big obstacle with her quick deck. That said, you have a lot of built-in redundancy, so for the few fights where it's relevant, you shouldn't have too many consistency problems. If you're feeling frisky, you can run the Team Rocket version of this lineup with 2 Sthenos instead. Prepare for trouble, make it double, and if you draw poorly enough, you'll be blasting off in no time. And here we are, this abomination. I've said it before, but when you're going for damage in FGO, you typically want to mix buff types to get a multiplicative bonus. But what if you want to go apeshit and just stack one type? Welcome to Ishtar. Or if you're watching this in 2020, welcome to Scotty. But we'll 3-turn that bridge when we get to it. The good goddess comes with 2 attack buffs of her own, provided you remember to use the second one. Stheno has her divine double buff, and just for maximum heterogeneity, let's throw some dragon steak on the barbecue for another double buff. That's 6 instances of attack buffs. With Plug Suit and another Stheno, that's 9. 10 with Golden Sumo, or if you're feeling especially bold, Gutta Poster Girl for that 80% attack buff. Math isn't my strong suit, but I'm pretty sure that's a cool 300% attack on Ishtar with everything maxed. a comically large if extremely inefficient amount. You're running a frontline with an archer, a lancer, and an assassin. That's the tail wagging the dog. And here's the punchline. Elizabeth has a defense debuff, but it operates on the same part of the damage formula, so you don't get a multiplicative bonus. To get anywhere on that front, Ishtar would need to NP for a buster buff and then crit. It's got the makings of a fun afternoon, but not a real game plan. For craft essences, you'll want some form of passive utility on Stheno. 20-30 for star income and Prisma Cosmos for charge are the obvious picks. A Guda poster girl is outstanding since it'll turn Stheno into a wrecking ball for up to 3 turns, while guaranteeing she'll make a graceful exit by the time her skills are on cooldown and her buffs expire. But if you want Stheno in a slower attacking role, consider Burning Tail of Love for its anti-mail and debuff success effects. Alright, here's the deal. Stheno kinda sucks. She sucks less after getting her buffs, but running her is a huge headache. When her skills are down, she's pretty damn close to dead weight. Like you're paying deployment cost to have Stheno hike up her skirt and take a dump all over your hand. That might be fine for a team accelerator like Waver, but for a wishy-washy debuff support, one with a quick deck, that's a real problem. Admittedly, she has niches, but in more general usage, Stheno is like Amadeus in the sense that you pop her skills and contrive a way to get rid of her. That said, definitely not the worst servant in the game. We've got a landslide of terrible 3-star attackers for that position. Even in the 4-star category, I can think of 2 worse assassins. Mr. Fister, who has a convoluted system for doing nothing, and goddamn Blood Rain, who purges her own buffs when she NPs. As a starter, Stheno is one of the worst things you can get, but she develops into something at least usable as you build up your account. For players with weak rosters, that Divine Double buff might end up being a very important, if unsteady, pillar. In any case, I'd recommend keeping at least 1 copy around. You never know when you might need a bit of the old Garbo magic. And that's all I've got. Like, sub, tell a friend, bully snakes, all the usual stuff. Shout out to my Twitch subscribers because this video was made on account of a sub goal. And speaking of Twitch, I stream every weekend at 3 PM Pacific, Friday through Sunday. Stop on by because we've got some gnarly events coming up, and I don't just mean FGO. See you there.